So for anyone who likes drum spinners, this should be your particular Robot Combat episode of choice. As far as I can tell, basically all but one of these fights had a drum spinner in it. So the first fight was between Steel God of War and Thunder and Lightning. Awesome names, obviously, being King of Bots. So, they were both cluster bots. One was a kind of red and blue sort of thing with a vertical spinner. The other one, there was a drum and two sort of wedges. And this was actually quite a close battle. There was quite a lot of back and forth. We saw a really good use of the cluster bots being used to actually work together in synergy. There was some very edge of the seat moments, like when the, I don't know what it's called, red robot was being pushed towards the screws and then managed to just get away at the last minute. And the blue bot managed to gyre over. Did gyre over kind of from the right way up to upside down, so it's not the best example of it, but never mind, they're doing their best. The second battle was one of the most impressive battles I've ever seen in any Robot Combat show. So this was Spin Doctor from the USA versus Great White, which was Australia and Alice in the UK. So Spin Doctor is this massive, evil-looking drum spinner. I think it looks like a cross between like Minotaur and Tornado. It's just this beast, this thing. It's got a flamethrower on it as well, because why the hell not? And Great White is sort of this strange thing with a sort of vertical spinner, and then you got Ellis's sort of mini-bot, which is just sort of a featherweight, which he sort of added on. Great White can take a serious pummeling. Well, they both can, to be honest. This fight, there was so many vicious hits in it. And it was just, again, very back and forth. You know, at one point you think, Christ, okay, this is definitely their fight. And then next moment you're like, holy shit, they're definitely going to win. It was fantastic. I also burst out laughing when Alice's little mini-bot Neon was sort of going towards the wall on its side. And then when it finally hit the wall, it just pinged off with such, I don't know, it was just brilliant the way it did it. Just, pew, gone. He was controlling that really well, though, trying to sort of do some damage to the tyres of Spin Doctor, and I really can't wait to see that team in the next round. The team captain of Spin Doctor actually was, they said he was like the guy who runs Robo Games, which is really cool. Again, the King of Bots seems very good at kind of showing other robot competitions, which is cool. They showed clips of Robot Wars in this episode, Battle Bots, Robo Games, which is brilliant. It's fantastic. But yeah, the guy had some great sentiments as well about the camaraderie behind the scenes and how everyone is just always helping each other, save for those 3 minutes in the battle, which I thought was cool to show. Next up was Tanshi, which is John Reed and Gabe from Sabretooth's like combination, their collective efforts, versus Dark Knight, which was another drum spinner. And so this is Tanshi is a flipper. They both said it had 6 tons of flip. But I'm not going to be rude, but it didn't really look it until kind of near the end. I'm guessing they've got different levels of flippage going on, and they didn't really need to use that much right at the start. In fact, ironically, the biggest flip was actually when they sort of were doing their celebration, I thought. But it looked cool as hell, and it was incredibly well driven by John Reed, and just very fast, very manoeuvrable. Again, we're looking forward to seeing them go through the next round. And the next battle was Shadow Ringblade versus Deep Sea Giant Shark. Oh, these translations continue to be absolutely perfect. So this, I don't really have much to say about this. It was just a very solid fight, solid battle, good old scrap. Next battle, Ninja General versus Flaming Wheel. So one of them was like a cluster bot, which had 2 drums and a sort of wedge thing, I think. And then the other one, you know, in a film when like it's got a mad professor making, like he has like a breakfast making machine, happens in like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Back to the Future, various other crap, Flubber, classic. It looked like that. It was just this big mad thing, all arms and saws everywhere, and yeah, it was pretty poor. It was like they were going around testing the various arena hazards. Like, oh, I wonder what this screw does. Wow, it breaks my robot. What about this floor blade thing? Oh, Jesus, it hurts. And then I don't know, I can't work out right at the end as well. It looked like they were just soaring into their own body. Entertaining, not massively effective. The other team just sort of looked a bit like, okay, just kind of let it get on with it, let it destroy itself. Good to see experimental robots though. Battle 6 was, I've never referred to numbers before, but there you go. Thunderstorm versus Burning Twin Star. And in my notes, I've written, because, you know, I'll make notes while I'm watching these, I've put forgettable fight. So genuinely, I can't really remember this. Oh, there were ones, so they had kind of wheels that were in a sort of triangle almost layout, kind of all pointing inwards. I couldn't really work out how they were meant to drive, and maybe they couldn't either. Next battle was Extreme versus Rustbore. Rust Ball was this like brown drum spinner. The other thing had these like 2 discs, and that was a pretty impressive performance actually by the drum spinner. Particularly the last shot where it was like pushing it towards the screws, and it took off one panel, another panel, and then the thing hit the screws and flipped up as well. And that was all in the space of like a second or two. That was very cool. And the last one was Shield of China versus Grill Judge. I don't know what the Grill Judge does. Like, does he go around just checking out grills, judging them like a judgmental grilly bastard? So one of them was a vertical spinner, kind of reminded me of Witch Doctor, but kind of 2-wheel drive. I'd like to see more of it. We didn't really get to see much of this because the other thing, which looked just like a giant cake, was spinning around and then just shredded itself on the side spikes and died. Yeah, but the vertical spinner though, I really want to see that again because it looked very fast, very maneuverable, and the spinner actually looked pretty solid, pretty decent. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode, same as the first one. I do find though the victory music is getting just a little bit irritating. Anytime they win a battle, there's just like da 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 da. It's like over dramatic, crazy music, as if they've just won the whole competition. And yeah, every single battle there gets quite irritating. And it reminds me of like the Hunger Games when there's that tune that comes, you just hear it like 1,000 times through the whole film. That's my only little sort of annoyance with it. The way they do their the replays and the commentary is interesting, I've noticed. So Robot Wars, what they'll do, they'll have Jonathan Pierce, he's not actually there at the filming, but they'll film the episode, edit it, and then he comments on the actual fight while it's happening. And then also he'll comment on the slow-mo when they're showing that. So you can see the slow-mo mid-battle. BattleBots, on the other hand, they have the commentators sitting right there, and they'll show the whole battle sort of essentially real-time, and any slow-motion replays they want to play, they'll chuck all on at the end. King of Bots have done it in a weird way where they're sort of trying to have their cake and eat it and do both. And the result is they'll show the action, and then they'll have a very instant replay right afterwards with the exact same commentary of the action or reaction to the action. Essentially, it goes something like this, and then they just repeat that. And I don't know if it's irritating. I don't know what I think about that really. It's just something I've noted. Just a difference in the way that the shows are made. Anyway, like I say, really enjoyed this episode. I would say looking forward to episode 3, but this is obviously quite a late review, and I've already seen episode 3. But it was very good, and I will do a review of that soon. And I look forward to episode 4, actually. Right, cheerio guys.